Yeah, I'm saved and I'm blessed. I done been put to the test. Pass, now it's on to the next. Tell me who you gon' check. Bossed up, sign the checks. Careful so you don't wreck.
All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Listen Up Legacy.
Hey, y'all.
I'm one of your hosts,
again.
Quad.
I'm Tiana.
And I'm Nikki.
We didn't do that last
Yeah,
time.
we did it.
Well, but
yeah, we're here.
all right,
And we are the Rollins.
what?
None of this was planned, but we're gonna roll with it. What are we doing, Quad?
All right, so we have a topic for today, and we're just going to be posing some questions and then answering those questions collectively. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this episode. You know, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
Yep.
Our topic is going to be introducing Jesus, faith, and then planting seeds the right way. So, the right way to go about introducing Jesus and faith and things of that nature.
All right.
All right, so who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off.
Okay. All right.
Give a personal story of how you were introduced to Jesus growing up.
All right.
All right. I'll start.
All right.
Okay. I think our introduction was kind of the same since we're siblings and,
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I've been in church for as long as I can remember. My mother has always been in church.
Right.
So my introduction started very young.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah.
Speaking of,
like I
what
said,
did they used to say about you? Because I've heard stories
We've
about
all
you
heard stories.
from the people in the church when Quad was a kid.
I was bad.
That's what they say, child.
Yeah, I was very honest, so that's never changed. Yeah, up front. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've been in church pretty much my whole life. My mom has kept us in church. She used to be a church musician, so she used to be at every service.
Yeah.
I used to be right there with her. I used to be in children's church. I remember times it's escaping children's church during service. Yeah, just I mean, I got a lot of memories for church, but yeah, I've been in church for pretty much my whole life. So my introduction started very, 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 very young because.
Okay. What about you personally, as far as like your faith and your relationship with God?
When did that start?
When do you feel like you became aware of it? Because even though you was a kid and you believe in God and you go to Bible study and everything, children's church.
When was like your awakening?
your personal relationship with God, where you be like, yeah.
Well, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
You get it?
Okay. We understood it. Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to decide to follow Christ and do these things on my own.
Yeah.
I'd probably say high school, maybe. High school. Just because, when you're young, depending on the type of child you are, you tend to just go with the flow of things. So I can remember like being in middle school and attending church service and falling asleep during service and not really being attentive and paying attention to what was being preached. But then as I got older, like I said, maybe around high school, started to pay more attention to what was being preached, and being more intentional with the relationship with God, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a personal walk and a personal relationship, and it's up to each of us as individuals to build upon that relationship. So I think once I started to, I guess, understand that a little more, like as far as like it being a personal relationship, and like just because you go to church and you're in an active, let's say, ministry is, but if you're not building or working toward or doing things to further develop that relationship, then it kind of becomes stagnant. So, and it's like with anything, like if I wanted to build a relationship with my wife, I gotta spend time with her, I gotta get to know her, we gotta do things together, go places, and things of that nature. And it's the same with God, with Christ. Like you have to get to know Him, and you get to know Him by reading the Word and through faith and just being around like-minded people and things of that nature. So I had that when I learned that in high school. That's when I started to further develop that relationship, and I'm still developing my relationship. It's nowhere near perfect, but it's better, and it gets better every day.
All right.
Good deal. I'll answer it next because I was, pretty similar coming up, been in church whole life. For me, I feel like my relationship with God became my personal relationship with God, maybe a little after high school for me. And I know like some stuff was going on or whatever personally that it was like, this ain't nothing but God. Like, and it's almost like not saying like God had to prove himself to me, but it was like, I see you for who, like I know, I know you're real type deal. So that's how it was for me. And then, of course, we still fall short sometimes, not perfect. I don't read my word every day. I don't pray as often as I should and stuff. It's like, but I can gradually see the growth in my own personal development, my personal walk with God. I can look back and be like, I would not have done this back. Like I would not be where I am today. Like if I would have stayed where I was. So I'm grateful that I see the growth in myself. But I know I could be further along, which is where I'm kind of battling now. It's like, it's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to do better. It's time to enhance. It's time to go up a level. It's time. So, and I see it. Okay. So we're gradually getting there.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to say that my journey of Christ, of God, it started in high school as well. And, well, no, I've always been a church kid as well. I mean, my dad was a minister in the church that we was attending. And we was always in church whenever the church doors was open as well. But we weren't as active in church as children as our parents would wanted us to be. But my personal walk started in high school, and when Quiet invited all of us to church. And first it wasn't even church. He invited us to be on G-Hype. So to start dancing.
What is G-Hype? Okay, G-Hype was Generation Helping Young People Today. It was our youth ministry at the time.
So he invited us to start dancing with G-Hype, and we did. And we danced.
We did.
Till we couldn't dance anymore.
We danced.
Well, we're still dancing, but still.
Quad was up there dancing.
Yeah, everybody was up there dancing. Yeah. JK, Johnny.
DeAndre.
Yes.
We even had Quan on stage one time.
We sure did. He had his own little, really did.
So that's how it started. The interest of wanting to get to know God a little personally. That's when that started. And it took off from there ever since. Okay, so it started there, but as I've gotten older, I've realized that I wanted to deepen that relationship with God, and that's the journey that I'm on now. And it's wanting to read more, pray more, wanting to meditate more on the Word, learn scriptures, and to just get to know Him and His ways. And they say you got to know Him for yourself, and that is where I'm at right now, trying to get to learn Jesus for myself. Wanting to hear His voice more frequently. And that's where we at now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
You want to do yours or you want me to do mine?
You can do yours. I feel like mine is more of a lengthy, like we can kind of expound a little more on mine.
Okay, bet. All right, so the question I'm going to be reading actually came from a subscriber. Shout out to you, Jordan. All right.
Shout out, Jordan.
All right. So the question is, what's the right and wrong way to introduce God or Jesus to your kids or just kids in general?
Ooh. What's the right or wrong
right
way
or wrong? Yeah.
to introduce Jesus
or God
to your kids or kids in general? I can start. Okay. The right or wrong way. I feel like the right way is you tell them about them. Just how they got like we had little books and little songs and stuff. I feel like that's a way to introduce, to start. Now, it depends on what age we're talking about here. If you have a child that hasn't heard about God, period, at all, and they've reached where we're talking, because if we say kid, I'm thinking,
elementary.
Yeah, elementary, whatever. I would say start with the songs. Start with the little. They got kid Bibles, kid book Bibles and stuff. Start there. Start reading. Start learning and telling them about God. Now, as they get older, that's when you get more deeper into like revelation. That's when you get about having that personal relationship with God, the personal development and learning the scriptures and stuff. That's as they progress. The wrong way, I would say, is I want to say like shoving religion down their throat, but being religious. I feel like religion is the wrong way. Jesus is the right way. When I say
relationship.
Okay, religion is wrong, relationship is right.
Yes.
We'll put it that way. Yeah. Because if all you're talking about is like God's not pleased, God's not like if they make a mistake or something, God's not pleased, God's not pleased, condemning them. Yeah, I feel like that's the wrong way, because it'll be like, well, why would I want to serve a God that just condemns me if everything I do is wrong, instead of teaching them the right ways, the proper ways, the way to carry themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I go.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll say the right way to teach them is, well, for one, this generation is different.
Yeah.
This generation needs hands-on with everything that they do, in my experience with the kids. Hands-on is a better way to teach the kids. Okay, so when I say kids, I'm talking about the elementary kids, because that's what I work with. So I say have an activity with them, with everything they do, have a visual with them, everything that we present to them, and make a fun activity, something that they will enjoy. Ask them what they enjoy doing and incorporate that with the Bible or with scriptures or something like that. Find some ways to give examples through that way, and I think that's the right way to do it. The wrong way, like Tiana said, don't bash the kids. Don't put like doubt in their heart. Like we seen it as we were growing up. Like we know when you fake and when you real. Yeah. Show them the right way to be godly, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know what I'm trying to say. We seen it growing up. Like don't be fake. Don't be fake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. I'll say so. The right way would be, in my opinion, to make God, Jesus, relatable. And that's for any age group, right? So make them relatable and then modern, because the Bible was written a long time ago. Some kids don't find interest in history, so to say, right? So the Bible say a wise man wins souls, right? So in the different times that we in, you have to figure out ways to be creative and engaging enough to introduce and reintroduce new things or old things, but in a new way, right? So introducing God to a child could be like the same as maybe taking a current situation, and being able to re-say it or reword it to where the situation could fit them, but you can input God in it and what it would look like, what I mean, like with God involved. And then I say a wrong way would be again to force something down a child's throat for the most part, and not have that line of communication, because kids have questions.
They do.
They do.
If I tell a little child, let's say Zoe for example, that God does this and this, her next question gonna be why. She may even ask what he look like. Like kids mind wanders and they go places and they gonna have questions. So instead of being like, that's just what it is, or that's this, that's that, like that's it's gonna be this and it's gonna be that way, whatever the case is, leaving that communication open for the kids also helps, with them figuring out who Jesus is for them, who God is for them. Because again, It's a personal relationship.
Right.
And we all have to build that relationship to get to know Christ a little better. So the introduction, how you start things typically is how somebody finishes. So like if you can get a child interested and get the conversation going and then just kind of like open their eyes to see certain things, then it's like as they progress and get older, they'll know who God is and they'll want to seek that relationship for themselves. But if you make it feel like God is this unapproachable being or whatever the case is, then it's like, why would I want to, build a relationship? Like, for example, I can say like with kids, right? Like if in a parent, this is just an example. If Nikki was to always, let's say, every time Zoe did something, if I was the only parent that fussed at her when she did something wrong, 9 times out of 10, she's not gonna want to come to me when she needs something, because she's gonna feel like, or if she's like in a dire situation, she's not gonna come to me because she's gonna feel like she's gonna get fussed at because that's what she's accustomed to. So, not saying that's the case. I'm just using that as an example. Yeah. So. I think it's the same thing with building that relationship with God. Like if as a parent, if I only tell you, because you saying God is going to do this to you, or because you saying God is going to do that to you, if I never say, God is a forgiving God, He's a loving God, He shows grace and mercy. If I never teach that side or never allow you to see that side of God, then it's like you're only going to think He's here to condemn you, and that's not the case. And so you're going to stray away from religion, and not religion, but from the church in general and the practices. So that's what I think.
All right. So the next question, because this kind of comes off of that that question as well. That question as well. Yeah, this comes off of that one. It says, "What can push anyone away from faith?" Even with good intentions. So now we're not just talking about the kids, what causes a child to not want to, learn about God and stuff. Now, if you have an adult that don't know the things of God, they weren't brought up in church or anything, and they come to you, what can push them away from faith? What can push them away from church, learn about God, getting that relationship? What can push them away?
I think I got an answer.
All right.
I would say showing one side of you in the church and they see you outside of church and they send a whole hypocritical. Yes. You can't preach the gospel and giving God praise and shouting all over the church on Sunday, and then the rest of the week they see you in the streets or
double life.
Double agent.
Double agent. Yeah.
Doing what it does,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. You got to stay true to who you are. Stay true to the word.
Yeah. Okay. I answer. I agree with what you said. I also think being bashed, I guess, like the Bible tells us to come as you are, right? And we kind of touched on this in the first episode a little bit, but it's like you do have some churches where people are coming to ministry and being new to Christ, babes in Christ, and the congregation or somebody in the congregation, whether it be an usher, a mother, somebody who we would see as, let's say, a seasoned Christian, right? Come down on them, maybe because of what they're wearing, or maybe because of maybe they're not as engaged in the service or whatever the case is, and that can kind of turn people away. It's like, okay, they feel judged, basically. It's like they walk through the doors, and the minute they walk through, they don't feel comfortable being there because they got all these eyes on them, and then maybe somebody may approach them at the church and say something to them about what they had on or whatever the case is. But because the Bible also says, through love and kindness have I drawn thee, right? So even if there's somebody who came to church and maybe they wasn't dressed appropriate, being that they're unaware, they don't know, they're ignorant to those things, there's a way you can approach that person in love,
so let them know to where
it don't come across as, oh, I'm judging you because of what you have on.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's more so like, hey, I just want to inform you. And then it's like you can also take that opportunity because again, the Bible said a wise man wins souls, right? And you can discern, you know what I mean? Like maybe that person, that's all they had, you know? So how about instead of, you know, what you got on ain't right, you shouldn't come to church like that. How about, you know, let's go such and such, what size you wear? I want to take you shopping. You know what I mean? And y'all can, you know, it's a way to introduce, you know, yourself to that person and to get to know that person a little better because you just never know what somebody going through as well. And then also, again, real recognize real. People relate to authenticity, right?
Absolutely.
I can't, again, you can't be in a pulpit preaching about let's say staying true to your relationship and then we find out you cheating. You know what I mean? Like when people see that,
Hypocrite.
yeah, when you live in that double life, that lifestyle like that, it's like they turn away from the church. And I think a lot of times too with new people in Christ, sometimes they go to the wrong church the first time.
They do.
And that one church done put a negative stigma for all of the churches. Like that one time they went to that church was probably the first time they woke up. They was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to church today. They go to a church, and then it's like
they get preached on.
Like the message be about them. The pastor may call them out, like, you know, have them stand up. I know some people don't like, some people don't want to be called out in church. Some people don't want the pastor to call them up. None of that. And it's like your first time going to church, that happened to you. It's like, I just really came to, I was just trying to see
what to get the word.
Yeah, that's it. Something to get through the week, you know. But you know, you don't call me up there.
I never come.
Trying to make me fall.
That's what it is. I ain't never going back to church.
Never going back.
And that's the thing. It don't be, oh, I ain't never going to that church.
No, I ain't never going to church.
Like,
general.
That's it. Like that was it. God, you had one chance, and that was the last chance. But I think again, like I said the first time when we talked about this, it's like a restaurant. Just because you had that one bad experience at that one McDonald's, don't mean you gonna stop going to these other McDonald's. So I think when we look at it like that, it's like just because I had a bad experience at this church, that don't mean every church is like that.
Right.
So you got that. A lot of people think for whatever, and I understand it happens at some ministries. I can only speak from experience in our ministry. The misuse of finances in a church also turns people away from church. The pastor may get a new car, new house.
I'm gonna take all the answers.
I'm sorry.
My whole answer would be ditto. Have a great night.
Okay. I just leave it at this one. Like maybe the pastor, we'll say flashy. Okay, they may think the pastor's flashy, but again, too, sometimes. Because the question can be posed of like, are pastors not supposed to have nice things? You know what I mean? Like, just because
that's the
they
topic
just
for
blessed.
another.
Listen,
That's the topic for another one. Because I know,
I'm not gonna say all pastors. I can only speak on our ministry and what we do. Some leaders have jobs outside.
That's what people don't understand. Yeah,
like I can say our dad. He never took a salary from the church.
Right.
Like, never. If anything,
he gave.
He gave
a lot.
Took from his pocket
and gave
to give to the church. Like it was never. And I say for myself, as the drummer for the church, I've never taken a salary for playing the drums. I know a lot of people who are musicians. If the church can't pay you, that's done.
Yeah,
I feel like that's another.
It's dead in the water.
That's another thing. Yeah, because I feel like that goes so deep. That goes so deep.
It do.
That goes so deep, and that's where that vice start coming up.
Yeah,
that's where it start coming. Because I look at the fact of some people won't play at a church because they can't afford them.
Yeah,
they'll go play at a mixer. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll go play somewhere where they'll get recognized.
Right.
So, but hey, that's another thing.
To each their own.
To each their own. We can.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I would say it's those things. Like misuse of funds. Some people just think that the pastor taking all the church money and
Yeah.
providing for himself. Like I say, I can't say all churches don't do it. I know we don't do it.
That's it.
Just because it is a couple churches that may do it, don't mean everybody else doing it.
Right.
you know?
Pointing fingers, bro. We bite.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
But yeah, like
I
again,
might not take that out.
you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Just leave it. Yeah. All right. Just so my thing for those of you out there who've been through those type of experiences would be to, try another
again.
church.
Yes.
Like try it again.
It's okay to try again.
Yeah, try it
Second
again.
time's a charm.
That maybe again,
Or third.
that
Or
church
fourth.
may not have been the right fit,
Right.
right? But that don't mean give up on church in general.
Right.
When you're trying to build a relationship and further your relationship with God, it's important to be around like-minded people. So just find the like-minded
tribe.
people, that you need to be around. Find your community of people you need to be around.
Okay, I have a different question because you took all the answers that.
No, I didn't.
Ditto.
Next question.
I got nothing else to say on that. But I will ask, why do we need to go to church?
Why do we need to go to church? I think we need to go to church to stay energized in this field, It's fellowship. People say church in your heart. Yes, church is in your heart. You got to know the word, but you need that fuel for the week. Like it's a lot going on throughout the week.
Yeah.
And you need that fuel on that Sunday or that Tuesday, that reset. Yes. Get
Pour
around
back into-
people that sometimes have the same trials as you going through, that you can relate to. And church throughout the week, it just give you that extra push that, okay, I got
Keep
that
going.
encouragement. I
Yeah,
can keep going.
yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
finish off this week. So church is important. Fellowship is important. A lot of people may not think that, but it really is.
Yeah. Fellas, that's
Fellowship
a big
is important.
I'm gonna let you answer, so that way I don't take up any of your answers.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Why do I feel we need church? I feel like church is not just the building itself, but the people in it. I do believe that you need someone that is more mature than you in Christ, somebody that you can glean from, that you can learn from. And because if the only person you're getting information from when it comes to church and when it comes to Christ is yourself, it's like, who's going to check you? You're not always right. You don't know everything, and so you need that person or somebody in your life that you can not follow, but that can teach you about the word, about God. And then you have the fellowship part of it. You have the like-minded people, encouragement. You have what's the verse? We are overcomers by each other's testimony. Yeah, that one. But you have that, and it's like somebody may have went through exactly what you're going through now, and then they get up there and testify like, y'all won't believe what just happened. And that, now you're looking at that like, okay, if they could do it, I can do it. They got it. They got their blessing. They got their healing. They got their breakthrough. I'm gonna get mine because I know it's in the house. It's in the room. And then when you have a group of people praying collectively, God honors that. God honors our
2 or 3
praise.
gathered.
Whether
Yes.
I was getting there. Whether there are 2 or 3 gathered in His name, He will be in the midst.
Yes, He
and
will.
I wholeheartedly believe that when we're in the place, we come together, we praise, we worship collectively. God sees us, and God answers anything pertaining to the house. And then I enjoy coming to the house of the Lord, seeing people I don't really see throughout the week like
Right.
that, showing love, giving hugs, and everybody's so encouraging. And we happy, everybody happy and nice and smiling, and it's just good to feel that family aspect of it too. And then that's another part, is family.
Absolutely.
Me personally, being the PK and everything, we don't have that much family here that we're really close to, blood relatives that we're really close to. So when we have a group of people that's like family to us, we may not call them cousins and stuff, but we got
Right.
brothers and sisters and stuff, and we create this family, and I love it. I do.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, right? Jesus was one man, and then he needed 12. Well, he gathered 12, right? Those 12 changed the world, right? So if you look at the way history works and the way different things works, powerful things happen with groups, right? When you have a community of people, like it's hard to be a single army and like accomplish a lot, but a lot can be accomplished when you have a community behind you, or when you have let's say an army behind you, for lack of better terms. So I think the importance of church is to have that community. Like, if you're by yourself, you can't do a trust fall by yourself. If I stand up right now, I mean, you can, but if I stand up right now, trust fall, there's gonna be nobody there to catch me, right? So the purpose of church, like, church is like a hospital. Like, we come to get our weekly dose, our weekly medicine, to get us through the week, right?
Sorry, GTA. Med kit.
Yeah. Like, we come for those. We come to be revived, right? And I think being around other people who also are there for the same purpose helps further your development and further your walk. Like, I can say, like, look at sports, right? I was gonna say there's no one person sport, but
I thought you was just saying no I in team.
I wasn't gonna say that.
There's no idea. That would have summed it up there.
Because there are one player sports, but they do have a team that help develop them, right? So I was just gonna say, like, teams, right? You have to have other teammates and other people. Like, with football, for example, there are some people who don't touch the field during a game, right? But they're there at practice. And what do they do at practice? They help you get better. Everybody helps each other get better. Without that one player, no matter how minute he may be, if he's on the team, he helps with the development of everybody else, whether they're starters or not starters. Having a team and being around other people who are competing in the same field as you helps you grow as an individual. And so I think that's what church does. When you are at a church with like-minded people who has, let's say, activities and things going on, and the word is being preached, and it's engaging, then I think that helps further your development, because you start to want more from God. And it's like, you may take, let's say you took 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, you're going to have somebody there that you can communicate that with, who maybe went through the same situation, and who may be able to tell you or help you get out of it, and like help you see it from a different perspective. Like, even like with a classroom has a teacher and it has students, right? When you're in a classroom in a kid setting, you may be afraid to raise your hand and ask a question sometimes, but then you'll have that one kid who asked that question that you was thinking, and you're able to get the answer because somebody else was brave enough to ask the question. And it's like, yeah, you probably could have YouTubed the answer, but having a teacher in person and present, it makes a big difference.
And a coach.
And a coach. It allows you to hear different things from different perspectives, and it opens your eyes to different things. Like I can say, for me, like, I've met people playing GTA that live across the world, and it's sparked conversations.
Shout out to you, GTA fam. Might as well.
It sparked different conversations that I probably never would have had had I not been on it. Because being, living in America, living in Florida, there are so many cultures that we are ignorant to because we just don't know. And it's like, being on there, we've built like a GTA community, like a family, and from that I've been able to just learn from different people and being able to like kind of have insight on other things that are happening across the world that I probably never would have paid any attention to. And so it's like the same thing. Like, I can read a book in the Bible, she can read a book in the Bible, we can all read the same book, but we all may get different interpretations from it based on different things we've been in and been like had done in our past and whatnot. So like with church, it's the same thing. Like, we're all together, we're all a community. Everybody has a different experience. Nobody's experience is the same, and everybody get different interpretations. And so we're able to piggyback off of each other and have conversation with each other, and open each other's eyes to different things that maybe we wouldn't have thought about, or whatever the case is.
You get a deeper understanding. And then knowing something from a different perspective helps you broaden your mind too. It's like I may have thought of it one way, and then you come with a whole nother. Now I was like, oh my god, okay,
Yep.
now you don't open the world of questions. Now you get and it just yeah.
But yeah, I think church is important. Community is important.
Community
Yes,
is
it
important.
is.
It's good to have a good support system, and it's good to have people who you feel like you can call on when you need them, and have somebody to lean on in your time of need.
And thank God we have that community.
Yeah.
We have that community for sure.
We do. If you're looking for a community, pay us a visit. We're located in Lake Wales.
Not even shoot
Kingdom
us a
City
message.
Church.
We welcome you with open arms.
Shoot us a message. Let's connect.
Yeah, let's connect.
It's 1 hour.
Listen,
Oh, we are doing summer.
It's 1
our,
hour.
our summer hours.
Uh-huh.
We're doing 1 hour of empowerment. Listen, today was great.
It was.
Church
It was.
great.
It was
and not because it
amazing.
was 1 hour. Not because it was 1
Listen.
hour. We
But in that
came
1
in,
hour, it happened.
did what needed to be
Yes.
done, and
yep, God was able. God moved.
Within them 60
And that-
minutes,
It
baby.
don't take 3-4. Hear me.
It don't.
Hear me. It don't take 3-4 hours, 5-6 hours
It
for
don't.
God to move.
Mm-hmm.
He could do it in 60.
Look, and when we're inviting you guys, I'm not saying you got to be a member. I'm not saying I'm trying to get you to join the church. I just want you to pay us a visit. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
It'd be
all.
nice to
I
have a follower, somebody who follows This Note Legacy, to come through the doors and be
Yeah.
like, I'm here because y'all invited me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
It's
all.
like if I find a good restaurant, if I find a good restaurant that got, like, let's say the best burgers, I ain't gonna gatekeep. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spread the work because I want you to enjoy a good burger. You know what I mean? Just that burger.
Let them cook.
Just that burger.
Okay.
Okay. If you want a good burger, we're here. All right. If you like steak, one of the best steaks around. If you like chicken,
All right. We're going to hit it
It is time.
and we're going to let it go.
It just started.
hey,
Hit it and we're going to let
I'm
it go.
hungry.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Sure.
That's when you talk about food. All right, that is all that we have today.
Yes.
I did like this one. I feel like the title could have just been faith overall or relationship. I think that was that the title.
Okay, we also talked about the kids too a lot.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
It
Faith,
was
kids,
relationship.
It was introducing Jesus.
Yeah.
Introducing
Yeah, okay, and we
faith.
touched on a few sides of it. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed this
Yes.
podcast. You gonna do your outro?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my outro. You already know. I ain't
It's
got-
your boy.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in to Listen to Legacy, where we don't just talk, we build. All right? Remember, legacy isn't about age, status, or perfection. It's about living with intention, purpose, and faith right now. So we challenge you guys again this week. Say something, do something, or be someone that makes a difference. Not just today, but for generations to come. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all of our channels.
Yes.
Share. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
And until next time, keep living, keep growing, and keep living and leaving a legacy worth listening to. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye. We're 4 down.
Right. Episode 4 is complete.
And scene.
Yeah, I'm saved and I'm blessed. I done been put to the test. Pass, now it's on to the next. Tell me who you gon' check. Bossed up, sign the checks. Careful so you don't wreck.